Non-gendered leisure activity, sewing, by Anmol Mishra. History and current issues. Sewing has been predominantly a women's activity because sewing has always been part of the household chores, and back in history, women's work always took place in the home. In my opinion, sewing simply requires a woman's touch. Women have always taken care of all other aspects of the house like cleaning, cooking, and doing laundry. Sewing is just another form of fixing problems in the family. It is also another way that women kept households running. Sewing provided a quick fix to many problems. Factory owners hired women and children when they could because they could pay lower wages to women and children than to men. Men and sewing traditionally. Men did not sew, they were usually tailors. A tailor by definition is one that makes, repairs, and alters garments such as suits, coats, and dresses. Tailors usually make clothes that are custom fitted to a person's measurements. For example, a guy would go to a tailor to get a custom fitted suit. Men and sewing now. Times have drastically changed. Nowadays, men do a lot of sewing and even participate in all kinds of crafts. There are even online blogs about sewing for men and sewing in a manly way. At home with a hoop and thread, at home with a beer and a shotgun. The man broider is the man of today, and more importantly, the man of tomorrow, says Johnny Murder of Man Broidery, an online blog for men and sewing. I believe that men did not historically sew because they saw it as a woman's activity, or an activity that is feminine because it is done at home and not in the outdoors. Also, things done at home were considered feminine because the home was a female's place in those days, so men stuck to doing other manly activities outside. Relation to class. Sewing has been predominantly an activity for women. It has always been women who sewed. Again, sewing was something that was done at home, which helped it fit into women's activities easily because home is where most women spent the majority of their time. Men's activities were usually taking place outdoors, whereas women had their work and leisure time at home. As I was doing the sewing, I did not like it. I felt like it was too much work and that there was nothing to enjoy, so for it to be considered a leisure activity was hard to believe for me. It wasn't fun. I felt like I would rather be doing something else with my time, and I thought of how women who didn't enjoy sewing didn't have many other choices of activity to choose from. I felt bad, but yet understood how girls like Monica from Love and Basketball feel. I did not want to sew, and my mother was there guiding me and getting angry when I kept losing interest. I got an idea of how it feels not to enjoy traditional women's activities and then be considered weird or an outcast for it. I got an idea of how women were expected to stay in the house and all of their activities were to be done in the house. Also, how even though sewing was supposed to be a leisure activity, it was also work because women were usually fixing something for their husband, which goes back to males having control over everything, including women and nature. I never participated in this activity before because I never had the need to. I usually don't need clothes mended, and when I do, my mother or a tailor does it for me. I would not have felt any real constraints, but me sewing is just not practical to me because there are not any reasons that I would need to sew. I would not sew just to be sewing because it would not be a leisure choice for me. Personal learning. This activity challenged me because I have never been good with being creative and making things with my hands. I have never been artistic or a person who thinks outside of the box, so it was hard for me to grasp the idea of making an apron out of just raw material. While doing the project, I felt like I was doing a womanly activity and I just wanted to get it done. I did not like the activity. I gained a lot of insight and realized that men do have a lot more choice in regards to what they want to do in their free time, while women have things that are kind of picked out for them according to what is fit for a woman to do rather than just women choosing what they want to do and doing it. In conclusion, I would not participate in this activity again because it was not fun and most of all, The male activities are fun. All of the activities appropriate for women are boring in my opinion, and I would much rather play video games for my activity than to be sewing.